Hey, let me take 1 second here to let you guys know that my products, the Titan Crew, are available over at Walmart. You got the pump product, get that focus on the workout, the test booster, bump it naturally, and then the joint support. You gotta keep the joints healthy, that way you can train for a lifetime. I want to take that 1 minute. Let's get back into the podcast. Thanks again. Good morning, guys. This is the Mike O'Hearn Show on Generation Iron, and we're gonna go over some, I guess, for you guys, hot topics today. Obviously, the Liver King, some information about him has come awry, and then I want to try to catch up with the Generation Iron team. They're working on some projects, and so they are seeing some of these competitors that are competing at Mr. Olympia this year, and I want to hear about how good these guys are looking just with like 2.5 weeks out from Mr. Olympia. By the time you guys see this, it'll be honestly 2 weeks. So I'm excited to see what Chris Bumstead looks like, and the Mr. Olympia bodybuilding. This is what I'm really excited about seeing this year. I'm really excited about seeing these guys. It's going to be a incredible lineup, and I will be there. So if anybody's coming out to Vegas to see the Mr. Olympia, make sure to come by and see me over at my booth. The Titan Crew will be there, and I'll be bringing the pups and the misses and the little Titan himself. But let's get into this episode right now. I have the president and the man, the myth, Vlad from Generation Iron, actually sitting down with me today to discuss some of the stuff that's going on.
So listen, man, let's get it right into it, man. I know we got to talk about this Liver King situation, right?
So what is your initial take on this, and what was the buzz around the office?
All right. So first of all, Liver King, right? I mean, in my opinion, this guy came out of nowhere, and he made the most progress when it comes to, you know, being a fitness influencer out there in a year that I've seen anybody ever. You know what I mean? Like he went to like from zero to being everywhere in a matter of like a year, it seems like, right? I'm sure he was doing stuff before.
Year and a half, less than 2 years from what my team says.
Yeah. Exactly. He made an incredible progress, and as he rose to that fame, it seems like everybody's trying to expose that guy somehow, especially on the blogs, right? It seems like people want to tear him down. Like, he's an entertainer, you know what I mean? Like, he's somebody who I feel like entertains people. He's funny, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand what the hate is about. So I feel like people have been trying to tear him down. That's what I think personally. I feel like he's a fun guy. I know he got his whole business going on, like supplementation or whatever he got going on, but ultimately he's an entertainer, right? I mean, he entertains people online. So then this video came out by your friend the other day, right? More Plates, More Dates, the guy that you like. And he basically is exposing him for using steroids. Now, publicly, right, Liver King is claiming to be natural. He's denying use of any type of PEDs. And then more Plates, More Dates. Derek, he's saying that he got emails exposing that Liver King is basically using steroids. He's been talking to some coach about all his cycles, and he even reached out to Derek for help with that stuff as well. So it's like an hour-long video, right, talking about, he's going through every single email, which is kind of like, if I don't know if those emails are real, not real. I have no clue. There's no validation to it, right? But basically, people trying to tear him down and saying he's a fake Natty. That's the gist of it, right? That's what's happening.
Does it matter if they're fake or not fake? I mean, let's just go with the intake that it's possibly they're real. Let's play that side of it. Does it weigh with you one way or another?
I don't care.
On the sense of him getting called out against what he was saying he was doing compared to what he is doing.
Well, it looks like everybody's been calling him out, right? It looks like even Joe Rogan was saying that this guy is definitely not natural. It's just been like, it's been like a campaign going against Liver King for whatever reason, right? I mean, I don't care either way what he is, but it's part of his persona is to be natural, I'm assuming, right? So, but I mean, ultimately, the question is it going to damage? Because in the beginning of the video, right, Derek is saying that Liver King rose to fame and he has $100 million a year business. I'm not sure what the business actually is. I'm assuming it's selling some kind of supplementation, right? I don't know what his business is, but so the question
I
is,
think
is
it's
this
a
going to now
combination of
damage his
supplements
business?
with programs and stuff. Is that basically
Right.
supplements with programs?
So the question is that going to now damage his business? Are people going to stop buying it? Like, what's going to be the ramification of this video? That's the question, right? Are people going to stop watching it? Are people going to stop watching Liver King because?
Can I ask you a
it's not
personal
natural?
question?
No, they're going to. Yeah, what's up?
Before we go, is it going to damage the
How
business and stuff?
personal?
You personally, do you care one way or another?
Whether Liver King is natural?
He's outed, I guess you would say.
Do I care if he's out? I personally don't care. I look at Liver King as an entertainer who's been just making these crazy viral videos. That's how I look at him. You know what I mean? I never really thought about what he's doing outside of that. I look at him just purely entertainment. You know what I mean? I think that's how I look at him. Social media celebrity. You know what I mean?
So, because I think of the same way as you did. I never really followed him, but my staff does, and everybody I know
Sure.
that knows him says he's a nice guy. And I don't follow a lot of entertainers in the sense on social media. You know, I even have friends that work out, but they always do like stunts in the gym and stuff like that. And I don't follow that because
Sure.
you know, if anything, I'm following the Husky page or something like that, or a Christmas page. So the entertainers, I don't get into. So it doesn't bug me one way or another. And also,
you know who Liver King reminded me of a little bit? Sorry to interrupt you, Mike. You know who it reminded me of a little bit of sort of like, you know that guy named Juju Mufu or Jiju Mufu? You know that guy who did the stunts? Who's actually a great guy too. I interviewed him before. Liver King reminded me slightly of him, maybe visually. But then obviously completely different, like, you know, the whole being a caveman, like it's different from him, but kind of reminded me of that type of entertainment, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, somewhat similar of that. But like, listen, I don't know what the hate is about really. I mean, but let's talk about, I think the hate is basically people saying that he's selling them fake promise, whatever that means. And I guess people saying he's using his supplements to like be like, you know, you can get like me if you take the supplements, but in reality he's taking steroids. I think that's the issue, right? That's the core of the problem here. That's what people are saying.
I would say I think half the people, or at least half of the people, are upset that he was selling something and making it like,
Right.
if you take the vitamins, you can be like me. If you do my program, you can be like me. And I see why they would be upset, but I got a question. Is that, where does the responsibility fall on? So like back in the days, what was it? It was cigarettes. You know, they were selling cigarettes and nobody said they were bad for you. So everybody smoked cigarettes. And then you find out later that it causes cancer or some serious problems. But okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please
See,
say
she didn't
that
even
again?
get that. But that might be a little extreme for this, but it was a mislead. So his was a mislead on doing something. But when is it yours as the consumer, just common sense that, all right, if you're going to take this pill, it's going to be the trick. I think it's the people that always look for the trick, the one niche. You see what I'm saying? It's like I always talk about, like, follow people. Like, if you want to do health and fitness, follow like what Arnold did or Robbie Robinson does or Frank Zane or these guys back in the day. There's nothing new to the game. You just eat healthy, train, and then keep going forward.
Right.
And nobody wants that. Everybody wants the trick. And so this guy comes out, he goes, hey, you eat liver and bull's balls, you're golden. You're going to be a freak like me. And it's like, well, I mean, common sense would tell you that's not so.
Right.
So you're saying it's really not Liver King's fault in any way. It's people that are just taking him as the pinnacle of fitness and follow him, right? That's ultimately the issue here.
For me, there's somewhat of a naive that you want the gimmick. You want to be, you can't be just blinded by that. And so I always say that it's not the vitamins. Even I have a vitamin company. I say it's not the vitamins. It's nutrition. It's consistency. There's nothing new that I'm doing that Robbie hasn't taught me, and I didn't pick up from Matt Mendenhall or Lee Haney. It's just pulling it forward to today's world. And if you
Mhm.
don't think it's just the basics that get you there, then you're kind of falling into this yourself. And that kind of sucks. But
Mhm.
at what point does this lie on them believing the hype? I guess.
Right. No, it's yeah. I mean, like from a common sense perspective, right? This guy's an entertainer. He's a social media entertainer. I mean, it's the if somebody can't understand that, that's just weird. But ultimately, if I don't know if I should believe that video if he's making 100 million. I guess no. Actually, you know what? Liver King himself on some podcast said his business is generating $100 million a year. So ultimately, somebody is buying his products, right? So he has customer base. All right. So the question now is, what do those people still gonna care? Exactly. And also, like for example, if a pro bodybuilder, right, of any IBB pro bodybuilder, for example, is promoting a supplement company, but he's also taking steroids, does that mean those supplements don't work? Like it's that like what does that really mean? Like it's just because you also take in conjunction with the supplements you take in steroids, it doesn't mean that the supplements are not good. You see what I'm saying? So even if Liver King is hypothetically on steroids,
Listen,
Right.
I could take whatever Jay Cutler or Phil Heath's cycle was for the Mr. Olympia. I won't even look half as good as them. Just because somebody's doing something,
probably
or there's
would.
other guys that are walking around playing pro football that look like absolute freaks that are 100% natural.
Sure.
It keeps going back to the thing that they've always, like you said, trying to call him out. Okay, so he's called out. Yeah, it's like, what were you hoping for? That he wasn't? That the liver pill and eating bull's balls is going to make you just like him? I think the kind of thing is like you do. There's entertainment, and cars do it. Car commercials do it.
Yes.
Entertainment. The Coca-Cola always do it. Hey, it's the cool guy with a whole bunch of girls around him drinking Coke. It really doesn't do that for you, but it's a sales pitch. But I think you're right. Society's going to be mad.
Exactly.
I don't know if they're going to hurt the business or not.
there was a response from Liver King. I think he didn't really address the accusation. He just said, I don't know. It was like a response. Basically, it was on Rolling Stones, I think, this morning. The response was kind of vague. He didn't address anything in specific. But do you think he should be? Actually, the question for you is: do you think he should be addressing this video?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't think about that. Probably for him as a businessman, and that what he was doing. I think there was something, and I guess here's the question. He admits that he did it solely to get a certain amount of followers. I did this to get 1 million followers, or I want to do this next step to get 1 million followers, or I at least wanted to be governed by somebody that knows better than I do to get this 1 million followers. Because if I stay in great shape and I talk this way, it's going to get me 1 million followers. And like you said, he exploded.
Mhm.
People loved it. People ate it up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it's like the memes that are already out going. What was the meme that you read to me today?
I made you eat bull
Yeah.
testicles the whole time I was juicing.
Yeah,
Got him.
Yeah, it was just one of those kind of. It's like you're gullible if you believe that. In a sense, and what I mean by that is that he should talk about it. He should talk about, hey, this is my goal was to kind of get out there, entertain you guys, and do stuff. I think he did some good. These guys think he's hilarious and fun. I've never heard a bad thing about him. He misled people. Business-wise, I wouldn't have done that. I think that you comes to health and fitness, it's just eating right for a period of time. It's training right for a period of time, for a long period of time, and doing the best you can. Just because you take supplements isn't going to do. Even if you take steroids, it ain't going to make you like this guy's pretty jacked, right? He's not a big guy, but he's a jacked guy. Even if you do probably what he's doing, you're still not going to look that jacked. So
People also accuse him of having some kind of surgically implanted abs or something. I heard that before. I forgot who said it. Have you heard that one?
I haven't heard that one, but I can imagine there's somebody out there dumb enough to
Yeah.
say that. See, that just goes
Yeah, I
back
heard
to
that.
that
I heard that.
Hollywood stuff. It's like
Yeah.
like Tom Cruise drinks baby blood or whatever those rumors kind of things are.
Oh wow.
And it's like that's why he looks the way he looks.
Wow.
It's like, wow, what? You guys just want to believe anything. And those are the same people that are probably pissed off right now. I don't know if this.
All right.
Be curious to see if it hurts the company.
That's a good question. I mean, ultimately speaking, right?
Did he, from what I understand from the videos, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from his videos, he says he wasn't doing it. And if you want to look like him, all you got to do is take his vitamins and train the way or eats the way he does. And you know me long enough, and the world knows me long enough to know that it's basic. It isn't a trick. You can get on. One of the funny things I saw was, I think in the message my team read to me that his joints are pretty messed up. And it's like, these are things that I've always talked about. It's like, well, if you're going to go that route, health and fitness is about staying healthy as long as you possibly can. And the muscle will come and go.
So you think he's not so you convinced? Are you convinced that those emails are real and that Liver King is not natural?
I got nothing to say that it's not. I don't care either way. But it's, again, he's laughing all the way to the bank.
Sure.
He's $100 million. Listen, I got a vitamin. I know how hard it is to make $20 million a year. It's a tough racket, and he did it easily by a little wave of the hand, as a magician would say. And people just fell right in. They got fish hooked.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I like the video. You know, what I'm not saying Derek from the podcast made up the emails, but whoever sent them those emails could have easily forged them. I'm just saying, we have to look into that as well. I mean, you don't know. Some coach sent it to him. I don't know. There's no validity 100%, you know?
Yeah, it being said, I think one of the things that you said to me earlier, and because this whole Kenny KO thing happened the other day, is people are going to keep calling you out, and they're going to keep trying to get whatever. If you got to start them, try to break you down on that. And so Kenny put out a video the other day that said to a couple guys that were on drugs, and Kenny said, well, Mike says you don't have to do it at any age. And there's no video of me saying that. I think if your body is messed up.
Yeah, you never said that. What you said was.
Yeah.
Go. What did I say?
Right.
Yeah, what you said is that, like, it depends whether you do need it or don't need it. You know what I mean? Some don't, some do. And
some 20-year-olds need it. Some 60-year-olds don't need it. And that was the one thing that I said, Kenny, don't even be a smartass when it comes to me about this stuff, because I'm a believer that if your body's messed up, 100% go do that. But here's something that's interesting to me is that this guy had money, and obviously he had some good money because he was spending a crazy amount on this stuff. But from everybody I talked to, the way he was taking this stuff wasn't bright. It wasn't a good way to do it. So my question then to you is this guy had money and was still taking it incorrectly.
Allegedly.
Huh?
Allegedly taken.
Okay, we if you want to play that game, let's say I'm going to go with that these are legit and he was taking that dose and he was taking it incorrect. My point is, and I've talked about this, and I say this to all my people that I work with, go get your blood work done. If this doesn't show you anything else besides Derek getting tons of views on his video, people who ever wanted to call him out, called him out. I think the great thing that I can take from this, and everybody that's watching this today, go get your blood work done. And if you're going to do this with a company that's going to help you do this correctly. I think that's what's going to come from this, at least from my take and how I'll talk about this, this is a guy that was a bright guy. You don't make that kind of money. You don't become that big if you weren't calculated and smart, street smart, and still taking this stuff incorrectly to where he's a kid. He's a kid. He's got 2 decades to catch me, and he's already broken his tendons. His tendons are in bad shape, supposedly.
How old is Liver King?
He's like in his early 40s.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
I did not know.
And that's my point. My point was,
Wow.
I always didn't care either way, just because I would look at him and I know people were in awe. I'm a skin guy. When your skin looks like that destroyed, for me, for what I do, I was like, oh, something's off here. And that's just my take on it. It's like the skin's the most important thing. So the unhealthiness that he was doing, from what I see, that's what I worry about kids doing. I worry about these kids not going to do blood work, that they're listening to Joe Blow at the gym. And the reason I'm saying that again is this guy was pretty bright. And from what I see, he was taking it incorrectly to the point where his body's not functioning the way it should function. For him to keep moving forward at 40, he has to do, I don't know, a reconstruction of this whole thing. Do you see what I'm saying, though? Because health and fitness is supposed to be, again, about being healthy, looking healthy, and definitely joints are a huge thing to me. Because I know that as soon as your joints hurt and your back hurts and your knees are gone, you're done with health and fitness and you're done with living life to the fullest. So anybody watching this today, go over to somebody like Transcend, get your blood work done, talk to those guys, get a coach that will work with you, get somebody that will tell you what you need to do and what you don't need to do. Because this one, I'm freaked out now that I'm just thinking about this, is that how many kids, 20-year-olds, are going to go, hey, if he was taking this and he looked like that, why don't I just do the same thing he was doing?
And get famous.
Nobody's been talking about that.
Right. Well, I think that, man, today, in today's world, right, everybody just wants to find their niche on social media and blow up, right? That's the goal. So you saying that allegedly Liver King was taking all that stuff and he's not functioning properly, but he achieved his goal of, becoming successful on social media, right? So maybe now he's going to, if he is not natural, he's going to start thinking about health or whatever, right? But he achieved his ultimate immediate goal, right? So that's, and I feel like a lot of kids or adults in these day and age look at it like that, basically. Let's get to what we need to get, and then we'll worry about the other stuff. So I feel like,
I think most people will go, forget it. If I can jump onto stuff, make $100 million, I'd do the same thing he did. And it's like,
Exactly.
You won't, because the body's going to ache and you're not going to live that full life. It's just an old man trying to talk to the kids out there. Don't go get somebody that's smart about this stuff. And I didn't even think about that I would talk about this today, is that I'm worried now that somebody sees this, I guess, what would you call it? His protocol, his cycle, that they would say, hey, I'm just mimicking what he did. And he could still go out and walk 12 miles a day or whatever he does. It's like, yeah, that might be a scary thing. End of the day, you and I agree, he's an entertainer. And he entertained
100%.
people enough to make $100 million.
Exactly. So do you think Liver King should sue Derek for making this type of video?
Wow. No,
It's two things. It's two things here, right? It's defamation of character, right? And then that's one aspect that he can.
he'd have to prove those things are fake.
And then
Sure, but then also, even if they're not fake, those are private, emails that were leaked. Also, you know what I mean? Think about that.
I don't know how it works in that sense. If he received it in a, he's not a doctor, and the person that sent it was not a doctor, so there's no confidentiality in that. And if somebody got in there and got your papers, that happened to come across this table.
Sure.
Put it this way: if you're making that type of money that he's claiming he's making, you can make a case and just drag him to the court. You know what I'm saying? If that gets under his skin a certain
Can't
way.
everybody that he said do
Sure.
this can go sue him for their money back? That $100 million is gone really fast in lawsuits, just fighting the lawsuits from all these people going, I want my $40 back. I want my 150 back. I want enough people send that in there and
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if you can actually sue somebody for saying, "Oh, well, you're on steroids and your products don't work now because I believed in you," right? I mean, I guess you could make that case too.
that's an easier case to make than the defamation of character.
Interesting.
Because all Derek did was read emails that were given to him of this guy. And the guy's going to have to prove that, well, first of all, those aren't mine. That's going to be tough if they, mostly if they are.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. It's an ugly
It's interesting,
situation
though.
either way.
All right.
But I think
I don't know, man.
to the people out there, don't. When it comes to steroids,
Don't do drugs.
don't do drugs. Or if you're going to do it with somebody that actually does it for a living, and they have doctors and they have people that will talk to you. At least he got smart enough at one point that he goes, hey, you know what? If I get a little bit more jacked and stay in shape, I could make 1 million followers. And he set his goal and he got it. And he crushed the goal. Everybody wanted to talk to him.
Sure. No, but Mike, I guarantee you, like, let's say if you're in a fitness and you're on a cycle of some sort, right? And then you switch coaches, the next coach is going to criticize your previous coach all the cycle, put you in a new cycle, right? I'm assuming. And then once you go to the next one, they're going to criticize that, and it's just an ongoing cycle of.
Go a coach. Don't have a coach. That's the bad thing. Don't have a coach do this, because a coach just knows workouts. And let's say he's really educated on the fact of what drugs to do to be Mr. Whatever or Mrs. Whatever. I would still go through a medical clinic like Transcend or somebody like that. When I talk to, because for my people that I work with, I say, go get your blood work done. I don't care who you are. I don't care your age. Get your stuff done. Let's see what your cholesterol's at. Let's see all this stuff. This doesn't just steroids, but get your blood work done. Sure. And when I was talking to Phil Heath, he was telling me about Transcend and how great they are with people. And they have doctors on top of doctors, and then they have coaches inside there that talk to you about this stuff and teach you this stuff. That's what
that exactly
do. Don't go with an Instagram coach that is 27 years old, that's got a couple people in the gym on drugs and goes, oh no, I know what to give you.
Sure. What's Transcend, Mike? Is that a facility of some sort?
Transcend is like, yeah, they're a company out of Michigan. They're a great company, and they work with a lot of the top pros and stuff. But what I like is that they work with average Joes, and that's, the mom and pop that want to have a healthy life. And they work with people that I work with that are these 25-year-olds, and for some reason their testosterone is tanked. Or you got the 45-year-olds that, want to be more active, sex life, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Well, guess what, Mike? I've heard a story of this coach. I'm not gonna say his name, but he coached some of the top-notch pros who we all know, right, from bodybuilding. And I was told that this guy doesn't do any type of training or posing at all. All he does is put together a cycle, and that's all he does. But he's so good at it. He's so good at it that obviously it's working for those who he gives it to. But that's all he does. He doesn't monitor your training, your diet, none of that. Just the cycle. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard about that.
I'd go back. I wouldn't. That's the problem. You and I know all these guys behind the curtain that just do that kind of. Like, a lot of these guys aren't even trainers. I consider them pharmacists or chemists. They're so good with how much carbs and protein that works with these kind of drugs. It's like, but you're talking about the extreme, the guys that really want to become something, Mr. Olympia and stuff. And again, they're going back to, I'm nothing if I don't get the trophy.
Yeah, I'm talking about Olympia. I'm talking about Olympia level competitors and Olympia level.
I know these coaches as well as you do, and that's. I wouldn't trust those guys. I would still go to the doctor and get the breakdown, and then also just really take away from this the aspect of that these guys, like the Liver King, just because you do his cycle doesn't mean you're going to look like him. So don't assume that. Sure.
But Mike, I mean, legally speaking, right? You can't go to the doctor if you're a bodybuilder and get a cycle from it. I mean, unless a doctor violates. I mean, let's be honest here, right? They can put you on TRT to bring your levels to whatever they think is the norm, but they can't put you on a bodybuilding cycle to to grow muscle, right? I mean,
Kid, I'm assuming the world's pretty crooked. I think there's somebody out there willing to do whatever. Unfortunately, I live in the real world that if you want something, most likely you can get it. So,
All right. Well, yeah.
you know,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'd go the other way with that. There's just probably a couple doctors out there, you know, what happened to Michael Jackson's doctor? You know, it's like,
Oh man.
ugh.
Sure, but were you saying it? But were you saying it's still better to go that route through a crooked doctor than going to like some coach from out? You know, I hear what you're saying.
It goes right back to what I said earlier about the people that watched the liver guy and said, hey, he's finally got it. We're going to eat this way and I'll be buffed. So if they're going to a doctor and go, I want to look like the most Greek god in the world and go beat Chris Bumstead at the classic bodybuilding, it's like, I can't help everybody. I can only help people with some kind of common sense. If you thought the pill eating bull's balls is going to make you jacked, I can't help that person.
No ball eating, I get it.
It's like you've got to take responsibility for yourself at some point and go, listen, if I'm taking it from the jacked guy at the gym and you think you're doing it right and then find out that your balls shriveled up to nothing and you can't do anything and you're 25 years old and then you lose all the muscle in the next 3 months, it's like, that's on you. All the people that are mad about this guy selling them a vitamin, that's on you. The world's not easy, baby, but you got to have some kind of common sense to where you freaking go. It's the old school mentality. Just put the work in, eat right. Everything else is a little bit of a percentage more. And then if you're going to do something, don't do it from the guy at the gym.
I agree with you 100%.
It's a tough industry though, right? It's a tough industry because now how many people are going to come out of the woodworks to try to do the gimmicks? How many guys do the gimmicks? So there's so many other guys, not just this guy, but I see, what is it called? Like you get these advertisements on Instagram and I got it, these coaches going, hey, do you want to eat hamburgers? Do you want to have pizza? Well, I can still get you in shape and you can eat like this. So what's the difference between those guys and this guy?
I don't know, man.
Because I know these guys. I know that they don't eat pizza every day. And I know they don't eat the hamburgers every day, but they're selling their programs the same way. They're saying, I'm the one that can get you to that level. Don't worry.
Right. Well, listen, people like easy, right? People like easy because it sounds good and maybe what if it works? You know what I mean? What if? It's always a what if, right? So that's why somebody will buy those programs essentially. You know what I mean? Somebody will swipe that card or whatever. You know what I mean? And they'll buy it and they'll, and that's how those people make money. It's a cycle of things. Some people make money, some people spend.
Do you think the Liver King helped people? Because I think he did help some people. At least some people got out there, started getting active. He was entertaining. They started eating a different variety of food. I bet you he helped a lot of people. Anybody that can get you to do a regimen to where you're eating more frequently or healthier that can make you active, I think is a good thing.
I think also he probably motivated people mentally, you know what I mean? Like he gave mental motivation to a lot of people. Like people see him always like doing things, he's happy, he's all over the place, he's talking about positivity, you know what I mean? I think that alone, in my opinion, was his main contribution. What's currently his main contribution to the fitness industry. Just him being such an over-the-top persona, you know what I mean?
The main thing is he gave some funny entertainment. Yeah. It was fun to watch. He meant well.
Yeah.
He got people probably moving and grooving back outside in this world and entertained them. So good for him. Good for him. 100%. And it sucks though. 100%. I agree with you. Whoever did leak the emails, what was the point of that?
I think if those emails are real, I think the coach is probably bitter at the Liver King because Liver King maybe left him as being a client, right? And maybe he even threatened Liver King that he will, because there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes probably, right? I'm sure he was like, I'm going to expose you, or maybe he asked him for some money. Maybe, I'm saying maybe. And maybe that's why he sent it to Derek, because Liver King didn't want to deal with him anymore. if they're actually real. Because otherwise, what's the point of like? Why would you do that? I don't know. Has to be something about Liver King leaving him.
Well, in the scheme of life, I think he was entertaining, and it's going to tell everybody entertain. Social media, they take it so I don't know what the word would be, literally, like this is factual. He's enjoying himself. He's living his life. He's doing his thing. He made himself famous in a year and a half, 2 years. In another 2 years, the world will forget about him, but he'll still be sitting there with $100 million business, enjoying life. So
I think so too, man. I don't think he's going away. I think he's still gonna be like popping up on everybody's feeds. You know what I mean? Like, because that's how people discovered him, right? They had viral videos. You scroll through like Instagram or something, and well, who's this guy? You know what I mean? And I think he's still gonna continue doing it. I don't think he's gonna go away.
I have no clue.
You think he's done? Oh, you think he's done? What, you think he's done, Mike?
I don't know. I've always said when you hit to the ceiling that fast, even for the young superstars, that's a lot of it's a lot to happen in one time, and to get there that level, and then to be fibbing on something like that and relying that's one of your main reasons why you're the way you are, is because of this way you eat, because of the vitamins and stuff you take. That's a tough thing to overcome. Man, he's a father. So as a father, man, I hope he continues to kick ass and provide, and hope his marriage is great. So for me, I know how tough life is. I hope he's fine.
I hope so too, man. And I think he will be. How about this? How about we talk in a couple of weeks and we see what happens? I think it's all gonna blow over, Let's see what goes down.
Yep. I think I do have one question for you, because this is one of those.
Yeah.
How much different is he than the guy with the genetic arms selling the arm workout, saying if you do this workout, or the girl, the great 23-year-old that has this genetic butt, and she says, buy my program? Because this is a good point here, because somebody I know just got sued. A girl from Texas got sued. Did you guys hear about that? Oh, during the lockdown, a girl claims this is her program. This is what she does. She could be this way if you follow her program. Comes out, it was a complete lie. It wasn't how she did what she did. Long story short, she actually got sued for that kind of information. So I'm curious if this is something bigger. And I just remembered that case. That was the first time I heard about somebody.
I think I've heard about that actually. I don't know what transpired afterwards, but I heard something about the lawsuit. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was a huge influencer, and she got hit with it. So I'm curious if this is going to be actually hit back harder than what we assume. And this isn't just going to be a tabloid thing where somebody's going to actually sue him for, I don't know.
I can't wait to see what happens. Honestly, I personally feel like I don't know. I think it's gonna blow over, but you think it's gonna be something serious. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in a month's time.
Unlike you, I don't care what happens. I hope he's okay. Kids are all right, but I don't care. I'm more excited about the Mr. Olympia in a couple weeks and seeing this open class lineup. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. I heard it's gonna be the most stacked one. Yeah. You got your top predicted. You predicted. My prediction doesn't matter. Yours matters.
I think Aaron's going to do great.
Andrew Jack, you said, is going to win.
Andrew, yeah. Andrew Jack, yeah. I didn't say he's going to win. I said he's going to do extremely well.
You said top 3. Come on, you said top 5. Was it top 5 or top? You said top 3. There you go.
Nick is going to make some damage. I mean, it's a cool lineup. That's what I think. It's so like, I don't watch football anymore for the team. I watch it because I have friends that play for teams. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I watch Seattle because I got a couple friends. I watch LA because they had a couple of friends of mine are on there. And this stage feels like I got a whole bunch of friends competing that I get to see. And it's like, I want them all to win. Mm-hmm. So it's a cool Mr. Olympia for me.
Who do you think will do? One last question to wrap this up with. Who do you think will do better this year's Olympia, Nick Walker or Hunter Labrada?
Wow. I thought Hunter was not in it. I thought he dropped out.
Did he? Oh, wait, did he drop out? Wait, did he drop out? I'm not sure.
I thought I read something that he may not be doing it. That's a tough one because they're
I gotta double check.
They're big, thick guys. Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nick seems, just from our discussions, so freaking hungry that he's going to will himself into a top position.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like that old school Arnold. I was just with Frank Zane, and we were talking about that and how Arnold at the 1980 kind of just willed himself into winning that show. So I'd watch out for not.
I heard about that.
He's going to make it. Nick's going to be tough to beat for anybody. Everybody's going to have to come in at their very, very top. And then and then we'll get all their cycles, and then we'll compare their cycles to Liver King and see who was on more growth hormone. I'm going to say the Liver King was, and then
oh my god,
oh, too much, man. Thanks for hanging out, man, and thanks for talking about this. At end of the day,
absolutely, brother.
End of the day, you're thinking this will blow over. He'll be fine.
I think so. And you say not, so let's see.
End of the day, I'm saying, kids, work with somebody. Transcend is somebody that I recommend. Go get your blood work done. Do this smart. Don't watch this guy make that kind of money and think that you can just copy it. Don't do that. Don't copy what he's just done. And if you do it with somebody that's smarter in the sense of if you're going to go down that route. Always get the blood work done. Don't do the Kenny KO thing. Take the stuff and look bad. Don't do that. Too soon?
Wow.
You dropped the bomb on that one.
All right. Go play, brother.
Until next time.
We'll talk soon. All right. So, yeah, it's so much to take in with what this guy's doing, but the outside stuff that I see when it comes to what has transpired with him, if the emails are real or fake, the thing I take away from this is he finally got to a point where if he was taking that stuff, he wasn't doing it with somebody that understood more than him. And again, when it comes to health and fitness, I said it before and I'll say it now, working out is great. And it can help your life, and it can set you up to live a healthier life. But if you train like an idiot, it can shorten it. And it's the same thing with nutrition. You could eat really, really healthy to where you're building your connective and the bone density and making sure your cholesterol is all good. You have a healthy heart, or you can eat like a slob and again, go down the other route. I'm going to put Transcend on here. You get a hold of them. Talk to them. Talk to a doctor. Talk to a counselor. Get your blood work done. Even if you're thinking about it down the road, do this. I will make sure that they have a special link that you can go through me to get it, so you can talk to somebody that's a professional. Don't just go out there and copy this guy's cycle and start doing it thinking you're going to get the same results. We're all different. And that's what I keep saying over and over again. There's some 25-year-olds out there that might need help, and there's some 50-year-olds that might need or might not. And just because you get on something doesn't mean that you're going to look like a Greek god. It doesn't work that way. And don't think it's a magic ticket. Okay. It's not your golden ticket to be Mr. whatever, Mr. Ohio. Do not do that. This is about just creating a better you, a healthier you, a smarter you, and work with somebody like Transcend to get this done correctly. All right. All right. That's it for this week. We will see you guys next week. And I will try to get actually Transcend to do a sit down with me, the two main cats at their organization, to sit down with me and really explain to you guys the pros and cons, how this could help you and who needs the help and who doesn't need to do this route.